All right, how's everybody doing? Question and answers tonight. Before I begin, I want to mention our sponsor for the show, Ratchet Clothing. Ratchet's a clothing company out of the UK. They have clothing for men, women, and children. I'm going to put a link down below. Go check them out. When someone is put on the shelf, is the person told how much time he has to stay on the shelf? The answer is no, and I just want to say that that term, put on the shelf, is the equivalent from years ago of getting yourself killed. So it's a serious matter. There is no, you going on a shelf, we're going to take you off the shelf. You may never come off that shelf. How does a person pay his bills? I would assume that's the guy that's on the shelf. Nobody really cares how you pay your bills. I guess either you get a job or you need to do something. Are other guys barred from helping him financially? So technically, yes, but if the guy has friends and they want to help him out, they're going to help him out. Are there any members of that life who make their money from total legitimate enterprises? Yes, there's a lot of guys that have legit businesses, or they own businesses or companies, or they're involved in it, and they make their money that way. So the answer is yes. If so, would they be expected to kick up a percentage of their legitimate earnings? So no, during my ceremony, the acting boss at the time was Matty Madonna. He told me, if you own a business or you have a company, we're not here to shake you down. So the answer is no. You're not expected to take from your business or your company and kick that money up. Does the maid member who does the introductions get paid for it? Reimbursed for time and gas money? Absolutely not. So the member of that life, that is his life, and that's what he does. He doesn't get paid for it. We are all humans, so does the guy who does the introducing ask what the meeting is about? So we all may be human, but in that life, you're not a civilian and you should know better. You do not ask questions in that life. It's just something that you should know. So this next question comes from a longtime viewer and supporter of this show. Would like to hear how they kept you in prison well after you had served the mandatory sentence. It might be instructive to others. So during that time, and it was like 1990, we had Mario Cuomo was the governor for New York. During the election, we got Governor George Pataki. He came in tough on violence, and specifically with parole. If you had violence, he did not want you to get parole, and they were giving you a conditional discharge. So guys who are in know what I'm talking about. It's your CR date, which meant that you had your mandatory minimum sentence. You were never getting out on that. You were getting out on your CR date if you had a CR date. So that was the reason why I went past my time. I did double my time. Do you know why Joe P dislikes Scarfo Jr.? So this person's talking about Joe Perona, and he's talking about Nicky Scarfo Jr. I really don't know why he didn't like him. Just a little background on it. Nicky was a Philly guy who now was in Jersey as a captain of a crew that the Peronas were all in. So that and maybe a little jealousy may be the reason. I really don't know the reason. How did Molino and Perona become friends? So once again, I'm going to give the answer like I gave before. In that life, you don't ask questions and how did you become friends? I don't really know the answer. However they became friends, they were friendly as far as I know. Has anyone who owed you money asked that they pay it back little at a time? I had somebody else in a life ask for somebody one time. But that's called a knockdown loan. I didn't do them. My theory was the way I handed you the money was the way I wanted it back. So this next question, I guess, is about collecting money. Do you guys get a cut no matter what? And can you get the money as a favor and help the guy out? I've helped people out, helped them get their money without taking anything. It depends on who it was. But as far as going to get the money, you have to understand there's a lot of exposure. One time we went to go collect money, the guy turned around and said, if I see you come back here again, I'm calling the FBI. So you open yourself up to a possible indictment. There's a lot involved. So if you're getting a cut, there's a reason why you're taking a cut, for the exposure that you're putting yourself in. How did you know that Tough Tony did not tell his alleged nephew not to pay the loan? Because that came from a civilian. So in that life, you know better, or you should know better. Tough Tony or any guy in the life is not going to go give a message like that without knowing who's involved. There could be another friend involved. There could be a guy that's with somebody involved. He's not just going to tell whoever is around him or with him or his pool guy in this case, don't worry about it, don't pay that. He's not going to do that. So speaking of Tough Tony, someone commented that the consensus among internet chatter is Tough Tony is inactive or retired. Let me just say that internet chatter, if it's not coming from somebody who's active in that life or was a former member of that life, how does people on the internet know to talk about that life? There's a lot of people on social media, specifically YouTube, that have a lot to say about that life, have no idea, they're nowhere near being involved in that life at all. So you have to think about where these things are coming from. Internet chatter doesn't know anything about what's going on present date in that life. Maybe they know about some history, but nothing present date. And think about it. Tough Tony's with the West Side. Did the West Side send out a memo out to social media saying, oh, by the way, he's inactive or he's retired? It doesn't make any sense. And lastly, I received a lot of messages from people asking me to make my videos longer. So I'm just going to explain it like this. I think I've said it before. Some stories that are told, there's not much more to add to them. Me personally, I would rather listen to a short story that's 100% true than listen to a long story that's full of bullshit, if you know what I'm talking about. So with that, I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Till the next time, ciao for now.